Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy, and thanks for joining us today, September 28th, on No Greater Delight, our podcast on Marian feasts and Marian meditations. Well, as usual, to get us started, we'll follow the Abbot Orsini's lead, where he tells us they celebrate Our Lady of Cambron of the Order of Chouteau in Reinhold near Mons. It is said that this image, being struck by a wicked man in the year 1322, bled copiously. Never strike an image of Our Lady. Also, we celebrate Nuestra Señora del Sagrario, which is Our Lady of the Tabernacle, in Toledo, Castilla-La Mancha, in Spain. Now, the Toledo's cathedral has many statues of Mary, but the most revered is Our Lady of the Tabernacle, because she's the city's patroness. And she's held a special place of honor there since the building of the present church in the 1200s. Tradition holds that her image was once owned by the apostles and was brought to Toledo by Saint Eugenius II, who was the bishop of that city from 647 to 657. When Muslim conquerors approached in 711, Christians hid the statue in a well in the cathedral cloister. When Alfonso VI of Leon and Castile reconquered Toledo, the story goes, the statue emerged from the well water holding a lighted candle. Interesting. Another story holds that the well was dry and that, alerted by a light that shone night after night on a section of the cathedral, people dug there and found the statue. On the spot is the present Blessed Sacrament Chapel, where Our Lady's statue accompanies the tabernacle containing the body and blood of her Son. I think, yes. The wood statue is a classic medieval virgin in majesty seated on a throne with the child in the middle of her lap. Canonically crowned on May 30th, 1926, the image was profaned in the Spanish Civil War, and the reason why we celebrate is because it was recrowned September 28th, today, in 1939. However, her feast day is usually celebrated August 15th. Likewise, we're told that if you want to pray a novena to Our Lady of the Rosary, that novena starts today, right? Her feast day is October 7th, but you can start the novena today. Likewise, they celebrate the Mother of God in Rashunka in Kiemanec, Brest in Belarus. It was today, September 28th, in 1942, that because of an apparition, a German officer spared the village which had been slated for massacre. So this is World War II. He had a wooden relief carved of the Madonna who appeared to him, which he gave to the Orthodox Church in the village. Interesting. Our Lady appeared to him, and he did not order the slaughter of the village. Likewise, we have another feast that I just don't know where to stick in. The last Saturday in September, in Cantillana, in Sevilla, in Andalusia, Spain, they celebrate Divina Pastora de las Almas, which is the Divine Shepherdess of Souls. We're told here, St. Isidore of Seville spread devotion to the Divine Shepherdess of Souls after a vision. I think this is perhaps erroneous. It says 1703. Isidore of Seville was much before then. So the dates actually kind of, it's interesting because the dates kind of work out, right? The first image of the Divina Pastora in Cantillana was a banner attributed to the painter Germán Llorente, which was carried in processions from around 1720. So maybe it's, maybe St. Isidore of Seville appeared to someone telling them about this devotion in 1703. I don't know. But in 1800, a yellow fever epidemic ravaged the area, but Cantillana was largely spared. And for that, they thanked the Divine Shepherdess of Souls. After that, they made the Hermandad, like the confraternity or the brotherhood of the Divina Pastora. And the brotherhood actually possesses with a seated statue attributed to Francisco Antonio Ruiz Guillón. And interestingly enough, for special occasions, it says of which there are many, she wears a large sombrero, right? On August 31st, the great procession fetches the statue from the sanctuary into town for the celebrations that lead up to her feast on September 8th. On the last weekend in September, with equal splendor and emotion, the Divine Shepherdess returns to her shrine, right? A procession accompanies her canopied float on Saturday. On Sunday, there's Mass, music, and then all-night exposition of the statue with devotions lasting into Monday morning. And so that's what we celebrate today in the Marian world on September 28th. For today's reading from True Devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary by St. Louis de Montfort, we continue with Part 1 on devotion to Our Blessed Lady in general, and now we continue with Section 2, Discernment of the True Devotion to Our Blessed Lady. And again, in this section, Louis de Montfort proposes 5 fundamental truths, and we are considering the first truth. Again, that Jesus Christ is the end of all of our devotions, and so devotion to Mary is meant to lead us to Jesus Christ, right? And so here we can consider point 63, still under this first heading. I here turn for one moment to you, O my sweet Jesus, to complain lovingly to your divine majesty that the greater part of Christians, even the most learned, do not know the necessary union which there is between you and your Holy Mother. You, Lord, are always with Mary, and Mary is always with you, and she cannot be without you, else she would cease to be what she is. She is so transformed into you by grace that she lives no more, as she is as though she were not. It is only you, my Jesus, who lives and reigns in her more perfectly than in all the angels and the blessed. Ah, if we only knew the glory and the love which you received in this admirable creature, we should have very different thoughts both of you and her from what we have now. She is so intimately united with you that it were easier to separate the light from the sun, the heat from the fire. I say it more, it were easier to separate from you all the angels and the saints than the Divine Mary, because she loves you more ardently and glorifies you more perfectly than all the other creatures put together. Point 64. After that, my sweet master, is it not an astonishingly pitiable thing to see the ignorance and the darkness of all men here below in regard to your Holy Mother? I speak not so much of idolaters and pagans, who not knowing you, care not to know you. I speak not even of heretics and schismatics, who care not to be devout to your Holy Mother, being separated as they are from you and from your Holy Church. But I speak of Catholic Christians, and even of doctors among Catholics, who make profession of teaching truths to them, and yet know not you nor your Holy Mother, except in a speculative, dry, barren, and indifferent manner. These doctors speak but rarely of your Holy Mother, and of the devotion we ought to have to her, because they fear, so they say, lest we should abuse it, and should do some injury to you in honoring your Holy Mother too much. If they see or hear anyone devout to our Blessed Lady, speaking often of his devotion to that good mother in a tender, strong, and persuasive way, as of a secure means without delusion, as of a short road without danger, as of an immaculate way without imperfection, and as of a wonderful secret for finding and loving you perfectly, these doctors cry out against him, and give him 1,000 false reasons by way of proving to him that he ought not talk so much of our Blessed Lady, that there are great abuses in that devotion, and that we must direct our energies to destroy these abuses, and to speak of you, Jesus, rather than to incline the people to devotion to our Blessed Lady, whom they already love sufficiently. We hear them sometimes speak of devotion to your Holy Mother, not for the purpose of establishing it and persuading men to it, but to destroy the abuses which are made of it, while all the time these teachers are without piety or tender devotion towards you, simply because they have known for Mary. They regard the rosary, the scapular, and the chaplet as devotions proper for weak and ignorant minds, and without which men can save themselves. And if there falls into their hands any poor client of Our Lady who says his rosary, or has any other practice of devotion towards her, they soon change his spirit and his heart. Instead of the rosary, they counsel him the 7 penitential psalms. Instead of devotion to the Holy Virgin, they counsel him devotion to Jesus Christ. Oh, my sweet Jesus, have these people got your spirit? Do they please you in acting this way? Is it to please you to spare one single effort to please your mother for fear of thereby displeasing you? Does devotion to your Holy Mother hinder devotion to you? Is it that she attributes to herself the honor which we pay her? Is it that she makes a side for herself apart? Is it that she is an alien who has no union with you? Does it displease you that we should try to please her? Is it to separate or to alienate ourselves from your love, to give ourselves to her and to your love?
Hello, and we hope that you enjoyed listening to our Marian podcast. In the spirit of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, we say to you that there is no greater delight than to spread the devotion of Our Lady. We hope you share these sentiments and encourage you greatly to share with a loved one. Know that you are always in our prayers, and we ask that you keep us in yours. God bless.